Hey everyone, it's Spicy Sushi. So today I've got a really interesting craft to showcase that I made on stream a few days ago. This turns out to be one of the coolest crafts I've done in a long time, and I guarantee most of you have never seen it ever before in Path of Exile. Now, this is a mirror tier cold blade vortex wand for the Squire BV variant of the build. The way this wand works is the support gems that are socketed in the Squire also support the gems socketed in the wand, and the modifiers in the wand also support the gem socketed in the wand as well. So this works out to be a 10 link blade vortex, specifically cold blade vortex because of the cold pin in on the prefix. Now, technically, you could call this like 10.5 if you count the socketed support gem craft. Unfortunately, I had to settle on the local crit version of the Crit Strikes multi-link. The mod itself still does the same thing as the spell crit version, but it's missing some spell crit, which ends up not mattering at all. I actually went into POB and noticed that the build crit caps so incredibly easily that you don't really need any crit in the build. You can even drop the hatred crit on the Watcher's Eye because the mod itself is so powerful, and you use inspiration, which gives a lot of crit chance, so it ends up not mattering. Um, the wand is almost perfect for what is possible nowadays. Besides that, after the crafting nerfs, we can't actually make the classic 11.5 link wand anymore. Like, here's an example of what used to be made in the past. Basically, with Aug influence and Reforge keeping prefixes, suffixes, that kind of stuff, we were able to make one with level 20 AOE instead of the crafted double damage, and that's really the only difference. Now, I knew going into this that this would be a pretty niche mirror craft since there's not many people that like to play the cold BV Squire version of the build anymore. This was really popular back in the day when it was like fresh and new and everyone wanted to push 12 link DPS, but the DPS that this kind of thing brings is really, it's unnecessary unless you just want to have like very, very high DPS. Magic finders actually like to use it because you can use like double pariah rings. You can push for maximum quantity on your build and still do incredible, crazy amounts of damage. So like, you can do like 100% delirious content full MF. And still use like shield charge. Like, that's specifically why I would probably pick this version over like double scepter or something, since I could shield charge around, over the bow version, so I could still be shield charging. I'm just a huge shield charge fan. I'm not a fan of leap slam or flame dash, so that's why I would probably play this version. But I know not everyone would. It costs like 2 to 3 mirrors to make, and I don't expect it to be very much profit. It has gotten some services, but it's mainly today I just want to show you the crafting method because I want to make it on stream because it would be fun. That's why I chose to do it, and the crafting method is really, really cool. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so the first part of this craft is pretty boring, so I'm going to go over it pretty quickly, but I do want to cover it. Basically, we're going to do the prefixes first because they have very low weight, and so we want to get them over with, and the heist enchant actually lets us do the prefixes first, as you'll see here. So what we're doing is we're just alt spamming for T1 cold penetration. But once we hit that modifier, we're able to imprint it with prefixes cannot be changed, and we're going to go ahead and regal and then reforge caster to hit the more spell damage prefix. What's really cool about the heist enchant is that since there's prefixes cannot be changed crafted, and after we regal, if we regal into a suffix, we can craft a prefix and then reforge this caster to get that modifier. What this does is it basically makes it so that there's no way that you could fill up your prefixes and have to annul after hitting the more spell damage, but obviously this only happens half the time, and it's not actually what happened here, because normally if you reforge caster, you could hit like the more spell damage mod, the T1 cold penetration mod, and then something random like lightning damage to attacks, and you would be forced to annul. It is a 50-50 annul because you can craft like cannot roll caster or something to try to get rid of it for a 50-50 chance, but if you regal into a suffix, you can craft a mod, and so you never have to be forced with that dilemma because it takes like over 100 reforged casters to hit this more spell damage mod. That's why we start with cold pin, because actually if we started with more spell damage and tried to reforge cold for T1 cold pin, it would take over 200 imprints, basically over 200 reforges on average. So this is what is going on here in the background. I'm making a lot of imprints to hit this part, but we're going to go ahead and gloss over this because it's not the interesting part of the craft. And in the end, I didn't actually even hit it on the reforge, which I'll show you in this clip right here. I would only craft mirrors for my own builds. Uh, yeah, I mean, that's like what a lot of people do. I'm just kind of weird in the sense that like, um, I mean, to be fair, I guess the ore stacker, like technically the gear that I craft for ore stacker is usually over a mirror on average, but I wouldn't call it like mirror tier. No fucking way. Did that actually just fucking happen? Wait, I have to annul now though. Wait, what is that slam chance, dude? You can yeah, but I have to pray that it's yeah, but it's still a 50-50, like, cause pin is still caster. It's a 3 and 5 that we win, right? It's a 3 and 5. Do suffix or prefix it's better? So, but it'd be a 50-50 with suffix to prefix though. Now it's a 3 and 5. Right? It's always no, but it's not a 50-50 right now. It's a 3 and 5 chance we win. Yeah, pin is non-caster. I mean, I'm fucked regardless. I have to right now, and a null is my best chance.
Thanks.
Oh yes, dude, we're done, dude. Holy shit, we just made the prefixes in like not even 20 imprints, dude. All right, so as you guys saw there, I actually hit a 1 in 179 Exalt Slam to finish our prefixes after the annul that you witnessed there. That was actually wild. The cold pin was blocking increased cold damage, fire damage, lightning, and stuff, so it did not make it like a 1 in 500 or something. So it was a 1 in 179 though, which is insane considering we also hit the annul after. So for the next step of the craft, I decided to show you guys in emulator what happened here, because it gets a bit confusing if I just show the Twitch VOD. So let me go ahead and set this up here. All right, so this is the opal wand that we have here for step 2 of the craft. We have the prefix, the cold pin prefix, the socketed more spell damage prefix as well. And for the next step, it's actually really, really cool. So originally, what I was going to do was I was going to craft it's kind of hard to set this up with because you can't do the heist enchant in the emulator, so give me 1 second to set that up. All right, so this was going to be how the craft was originally going to proceed. I was going to, let me go ahead and remove this crafted modifier right here. All right, so this is how originally the craft was going to proceed. We would have the heist enchant that would let us craft max mana and intellect and attack speed. This is a hybrid craft through veiled, through an unveiled hybrid craft that makes it so it's blocking attack speed and blocking intelligence, which is the highest weight blocks we can do. And then I would proceed to Exalt Slam twice. And over the course of like 50 Exalt Slams, so every time I would be left with this, I would have to clear my crafted mods, craft prefixes cannot be changed, use a scour, and then set this up again every single time. So yeah, very, very painful. And I was going to Exalt Slam into T2 or T1 crit strike chance or, crit damage, and then Exalt Slam the second mod. So as you can imagine, I think it was a 1 in 50 into like a 1 in 30, 1 in 50 or something into like a 1 in I don't know, like 1 in 60 or something as well. So it was going to end up taking like hundreds and hundreds of divines, up to like 4 mirrors, I think was the original thing. But I don't want to dwell on that too long, because guess what? We didn't actually end up doing that, because my boy, Captain Lance, actually came to the channel and was like, hey, actually, wouldn't this be a good idea if you crafted, I have to set it up like this, crafted prefixes cannot be changed, and suffixes cannot be changed, and then just reforge crit. And I didn't even think of this, actually, when I was thinking about the craft, and I was like, huh, wait a minute. Because people in chat were like, no, that can brick the item, right? That can brick the item. If you fill up your suffixes, it's over, right? But what Lance realized and what I realized after he said that was, wait, no, you can never actually brick this, because what you can do is when you reforge crit, you'll slam a crit mod, and then you can reforge crit again. And obviously, you're not always, it's going to be still really hard to make the item. But what you can do here is you can get rid of your crafted mods. So you can't just get rid of only the suffixes cannot be changed. You have to get rid of both. So you have to recraft this, recraft it on there. So basically remove craft prefixes cannot be changed, and then scouring orb, and then you set it up again. So you pay, you don't have to craft this every time. This is just because I have to, the emulator does not have the heist enchant, so I have to do this each time. Basically, you'll have this, and then you set this up again for 4 divines. Basically, it's 6 divines per time you set it up, and then you reforge crit twice again. So as you see here, we actually already finished it, technically, if you wanted to go for T2, but we decided to go for T1 instead. It was like a 1 in 6 for the first hit, and then like a 1 in 4 or something for the second hit. So made the craft still very expensive, but way cheaper and way cooler than we originally intended, because basically what we do is we just constantly just rotate reforging crit, and then I did that until we hit T1 of the crit mods. So this is really, really cool, right? I've never seen a craft like this in Path of Exile, and I do have to credit Captain Lance for that because this is really sick. Very niche, but honestly really sick. So, because it actually is quite genius if we think about it further. Because you may be wondering, why is only one mod being added with each crit reforge? Well, if you didn't know, items in Path of Exile always gravitate towards 4 to 5 modifiers. If I just sit here spamming Chaos Orbs on this item, you'll see 4 to 5 mods almost every single time, right? So let's go ahead and go back to here. Basically, we have 4 mods here. And so, as I said, items in Path of Exile gravitate towards 4 to 5 mods. These are counted as modifiers. So our item already has 4 mods. And so when we're forcing a 5th mod, we are hitting basically the upper threshold that an item likes, like the number of mods that an item likes to have. It's just how it works. So basically, that's why almost every single time we're only going to be getting 1 modifier because we're hitting that upper limit, that 5 mod limit that items almost always follow. Now, as you know, maybe when you have like prefixes cannot be changed and you're reforging an item, sometimes you fill that item up with 3 suffixes. If you have 3 prefixes and you have prefixes cannot be changed and you reforge, you sometimes get 6 modifiers instead of just the 1 modifier that you may have wanted. And that is like a 1 in 10, 1 in 12 chance or something. And that's the same thing here. If we were to get more than 1 modifier on this crit reforge, we would have been hitting that like 1 in 10, 1 in 12 chance. That's actually kind of the genius of it. I'm not sure if Captain Lance knew about this part of it, but it definitely is really, really cool because as a result, we're usually able to reforge crit twice. So if we hit this right here and then we go again, we would have a chance of finishing our item. And what's really cool is we can actually do prefixes cannot be changed. Like if let's say we hit this T1 crit strikes mod here and we hit this modifier here, we could take these mods off, recraft prefixes cannot be changed, and go for a 50-50 annul. Technically, 1 in 3 because we'd have to recraft the prefixes cannot be changed. But basically, you're seeing it by now, right? This is a much more deterministic way to make this item because once we do that, let's say once we hit our second modifier, boom, our item. I wish I had, hit this. Instead, we got the local crit instead. It was just too expensive to go for only the spell version because the item is so niche in general. If you're asking that, it just wasn't worth going for because it's not even that great of a modifier considering most people crit cap. Basically, it's so easy to crit cap anyway. But at this point, I can't do it in the emulator, but we just craft our double damage and our +2 socketed support gem to finish the item. So really sick craft. I think it's awesome that Captain Lance was able to come up with that, and I do give him full credit for this method because I probably wouldn't have made the video honestly if it wasn't for that. And that's why we were able to finish it. So I'll go ahead and finish the video with the clip of us hitting it, and then yeah, and that'll be it. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I do have more crafting videos planned for the future, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. Oh my god, it's done! Double T1! Holy... Oh my, double T1, dude. Holy sh... We actually got double T1, dude. Alright. There it is, boys. +2 socketed support, 5% DD with the 4 multi-links.